So I finally made the switch from a gas car to an EV, and this is what I have, a Tesla 22 Model 3 Performance. Okay, let's talk about some of the reasons why I did transition into a Tesla. And the number one reason is because I needed a reliable daily driver. And back in the days, it was okay just driving, like a Toyota or some other type of cheaper car that would, take me from point A to point B. But at this point, now that I drive at least 30 miles one way, sometimes 60 miles, I need a car that I could really rely on without having to worry about gas. And so that's the number one reason, right? And obviously getting an EV, getting a Tesla is a no-brainer. The good thing about it is that, and I could just charge at home, right? Because I don't have to go to a gas station unless I drive some of my other cars. But as far as going far commutes, like 30 miles, 60 miles one way, all I have to do when I go back home is just plug the Tesla, and the next morning, if I have a charger, I'm ready to go. And so that's really the number one reason, having a daily driver where I don't have to worry about gas, especially when I do long commutes. Now, another reason why I transitioned to the Tesla is because I've always wanted to get an EV, even back in the days, but I never really thought it was feasible in terms of price, in terms of lifestyle, or just making those changes, because I'm so used to driving gas cars. Making the changes is kind of a big leap when you think about it. If all my life I've been driving gas cars, whether it's manual or DSG or whatever, it takes a change of mindset to transition from a gas car to an EV. And there are certain things that you would do driving a gas car that you would not do with an EV, right? I don't have the sounds anymore, right? With the gas car, I know that when I turn it on, you'll hear it, you'll have the muffler. If you tune it, you'll hear the burbles, you'll hear it coming. But with the EV, it's so quiet, you don't even know that it's on. So it's those types of things that you just need to get used to. It's sort of a lifestyle change, if you will. For someone like me who is a car enthusiast, it takes a little bit more because I've gotten so used to and fond of gas cars that it's a little bit more challenging to transition into like a Tesla per se, okay? But I finally did it because of, like I said, I needed a car that would give me, something for further commutes and stuff like that, and not having to worry about it. So another reason that I transitioned is because I wanted to experience the technology of a Tesla as opposed to just a regular car. And definitely once you own a Tesla, you would know what I'm talking about, because there's so many things that you take for granted that you didn't know existed prior to getting a Tesla. Things that are, just conveniences, right? For instance, Tesla, you don't really need a key. You do have a key card, but you can use your phone to start your car, so you don't really need keys, traditional keys and stuff like that. The Tesla app pretty much controls everything on your Tesla, right? And you could do things like go to control. Alarm is already on, but let's say I wanted to open the vent right here, right? See this? And look at the vent as I press this right here. See that? I can open and close the vent from anywhere. I could press the honk if I want to. Okay, see, it's kind of loud. Right here, it shows the PSI, the tire pressure. See, so release notes, these are like the updates for the vehicle, right? It shows you the minor fixes from the software. For the charging right there, I can set it up 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. because That's the cheapest time to charge. I would save more money when I do that. So battery health, battery is healthy, so I don't have to worry. Software is a big part of what makes this car what it is. And so you're gonna rely on your screen most of the time, and this is the learning curve right here. If you go from a gas car to like a Tesla or an EV like this, there's a big learning curve. It's not just going from a different brand car to the next, but we're talking about a different way of driving altogether, right? And so you have to get used to the controls, which at first for me was not that it was challenging, but it took a little time, right? Because I have to familiarize myself with all these different controls based on your screen. Controls right here, like for instance, if I have to fold my mirror, I just go right here, right? Oh, not save location, I'm sorry. See, I already messed up right there, right? I want to fold my mirror, move my mirrors right here. See, this is the control, and then it tells you that you can now use this button to go up and down, side to side, and so on, right? I'm not really going to get into most of this because there's already a lot of people that talk about how to use the screen and how to use the controls. I'm just giving you an example of the learning curve that you have to go through when you buy a Tesla. You're charging, right? How much more charge you have and so on. So these different controls are here. I still haven't played with all of them, right? Maybe I played with the FSD and that kind of stuff because I want to see how it felt like getting the FSD going. I think that it's a convenience thing because this information is not readily available to you when you drive like a gas car. And some of the newer cars, they have more functions and stuff, but the way this software is, it tells you everything, right? And I didn't really have that when I was driving the cars that I've had in the past. So it tells you like how much PSI you have on your tires, autopilot, and also when you walk away from your car, right, it just kind of locks itself. So there's really no need for an alarm. You have the sentry mode where you leave your car and you can turn on the camera so you can see what's going on, or if someone gets too close to your car will video everything, right? If somebody tries to key your car and stuff like that, you'll know what's up. Somebody hits you. And so there's no need to get a dash cam. There's no need to get these extra features and extra things that you would do in like a regular car, which I've done in the past, because Tesla pretty much has all that already available to you. It's convenient, and there's a lot of tech and a lot of features that you won't really have with like a regular traditional car, a gas car, unless you buy them separately. But even then, you still won't have all the features that you get from driving a Tesla. Performance is a big thing for me. That's why every time I get a car, in the past, I would always modify it, right? I would do like straight pipe sometimes back in the days, or I would tune the car. I would add little things to up the performance, so to speak. And with a Tesla, I don't really need to do any of that, right? I don't need to worry about smog. I don't have to worry about, oh, I get a little bit of power if I add this upgrade or that. With Tesla, it's either you just buy, even just a standard Tesla would be fast enough, but this one is a performance. So this is 0 to 60 in 3.1, which is very good for a daily driver. And so that's really a big reason as to why I wanted to transition into a Tesla. Not just to experience that speed or that power from 0 to 60, but also the fact that you can just do what you need to do if you're stuck in a sort of a difficult position where you're trying to enter the freeway. There's someone in front of you, there's like a big rig and you want to pass the big rig. It's just that with a Tesla you could do so much more because it's got that power instantly, right? You don't have to worry about speeding up to get it. The fact that I don't have to do any modifications is really a plus for me. Just have that power from the get-go. Performance model, that's why I got the Tesla. it gives you the driver's feeling, even though it's an electric car. It's not like a gas car, but it's still, it feels good gripping the steering wheel. You know, the seats are very comfortable right here. You can get 3 people to sit back here. It doesn't have the middle part because it's not a traditional car, you know. It doesn't have a transmission and stuff like that. There's just dual motors. But I think it's pretty roomy considering it's not a hatchback, you know. I like the roof. Boom. I like the roof. It's nice. Some people complain, they say that it gets really hot, so they try to put a cover on it. I don't think I'm gonna do that. It depends on you, you know. Depends on where you live and how hot it gets. But I think for me, I like the sun, so I like the fact that, you know, I have this glass roof with where it's kind of see-through. So I like that feature, so I'm not gonna get a cover for it. But that's just me, okay? Some other people would probably cover that up. It's also very roomy. You can see it goes all the way to the back. I mean, I think I could fit a lot of things in here, considering, like I said, considering it's not a hatchback, because you can even put the seats back if you want to. So there's a lot of room. There's a lot of practicality driving the Model 3. And keep in mind, when this Model 3 came out, it was close to 60 grand. So I only paid less than half that much for this car. But back when it came out, it was not cheap. So it's fairly decent. The material of the interior is very nice for a Model 3. Overall, I really enjoy having the Tesla, and I think I made the right decision. But there are a few things that I don't like, such as the quality build is not really, compared to other cars, it's not that great in terms of the body panel. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. Sometimes aligning it is not perfect right here, or it's hard to see. It's hard to see some of the imperfections. So basically some of the lines are not proper because, I don't know, it's just it's not aligned perfect, and it's hard to see from the camera, but when you look up close you would see it. It's not perfect and it should be aligned cleaner, right? And I don't have that issue with the other cars that I have, and that's something you have to live with a Tesla, because the build quality is just it's not there yet. But from far away you can't really tell, you know, so it's not so much of a big deal. But if you own the car, you will see all these imperfections, right? Especially for me, since I'm always cleaning this car now. So that's something you have to live with when you get a Tesla. You know, the gaps and the body lines are not going to be perfect because of the build quality. But aside from that, I like the way it looks. There are some people who are not happy with their Tesla purchase because they bought it brand new and they don't like the depreciation, and who would, right? Which is why I would advise getting a used Tesla, which is what I did. So that way you don't have to pay for the depreciation, which is already covered by the first owner. Obviously, you know, they get to experience it before you do. But for me, I'm more than happy to get the used Tesla because I didn't want to pay full price, and I knew that there was going to be some depreciation. I just didn't realize that it was going to be so high. Like for this car, right? It was almost 60K brand new, but now it's less than half that. So I got a deal for it. And the quality that you get from the exterior to the performance to dual motor and all the tech features, I think it's worth what I got for it. And so it really depends how you see it. People who bought the Tesla brand new are going to complain saying, oh, it's not worth it now. They can't even sell it anywhere close to what they purchased it for. But for people who buy the Tesla used, like myself, hey, it's a deal. Because now I get all these features. I get to drive an EV that's fast, that's very reliable, that has all these tech less than half the price. And so that's another thing to consider when you're purchasing a Tesla, right? Is did you get it brand new? And if you're okay with that, fine. But If you don't want to spend that much, you have a budget, get it used, get a quality used Tesla with a warranty, with less miles. You'll get something that's worth having because you don't have to worry about depreciation so much, especially if you're going to keep it for a while. Okay, so this is another thing. And some people may wonder, why did you get a used 2022 Model 3 when you could just purchase a new Model 3, right? And it won't be that much difference in terms of pricing, because right now they're offering the 0% financing to get the Model 3, the new one. This is the Model 3 Performance, the new one. You know, this is still under 30 grand, but if you compare the two in terms of monthly payment, it would be close to the same. It's just that you would have to put a down payment on the new Model 3. My reasoning is really simple. I wanted to get the performance, right? I don't want to get the regular Model 3, which is already fast, right? 0 to 60 in what, 6 seconds, I think? But I wanted to get the performance. And if I can't justify spending over 20 grand on the new Model 3 Performance, then I would just rather get the 2022, which is, I believe, better for my budget. That's the rationale. That's the first reason as to why I did it. The second reason is I think there's not much difference in terms of new Model 3 as opposed to the old one. Yeah, the front is different, you know, the front, but the body from the side to the back, I feel like it's pretty much the same in terms of the shape. I think the main difference is just the front. Obviously, there are technological differences, but there are actually certain functions that I like in this older Model 3 that I'm not sure if I would be comfortable with the new one. You know, just like the stock where you turn signals, you have it here, but you don't have it in the new Model 3. So things like that, the fact that this is a performance model. If I got the regular Model 3, then I would be complaining. Yeah, you'd have the new style and everything, but then if I pull up next to like a performance like this, I'd be thinking in my head, well, that car's faster and it's older. So, and I just don't think I'd be okay with that. So that's the reason why I went ahead with the older Model 3 Performance as opposed to the new Model 3 Standard or the Model 3 Performance, which is 20 grand more than this. So that's a big thing when it comes to getting Model 3 Performance is the brakes. You're not going to have that if you get the long range or the standard version, right? So the front and the back right here. Because the red brakes are just cool, you know. Right? Another thing is the Performance comes with this little spoiler right here, the carbon fiber spoiler. It's a nice feature, you know, when you get the Performance. That's sort of part of the deal that you get. This, I just added that part, okay? But that's just something I added. But obviously, the dual motor lets you know what this car has. You know, so that's obviously something I like. I know there's some people that actually remove that. I want to let people know that this car is a dual motor, and so I'm leaving that alone right there. I added a few other things as well, you know, such as just little things to make it more comfortable, but nothing really major, because I don't think that this is going to be my daily driver. It's not going to be like some type of project or some of the other cars I've had in the past where full-on modification and stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into that. I was thinking about lowering the car, but I think I will leave it alone for now because I want to keep the warranty in place. So maybe when the warranty goes away, then I'll think about getting coilovers or something if I still feel the need to do that. But obviously these are 20-inch wheels. Am I going to get another set of wheels? I might do that in the future, you know, something less, maybe 19s, and have a second set of shoes, if you will. But for now, I'm more than happy with these wheels because they look nice, even though they're stock, and it goes well with the whole car right there. You know? Right. See how it feels? So quiet. You can really you could hear yourself talk all day if you don't play the music. So that's what the Tesla's all about. Yeah, right now it's still on chill mode, but once you press on the accelerator, it's already pretty quick. Like this, you know. All right, I put it on sport mode right here. Okay, put on sport mode. Oh, there's a cop right there. Whoa! Whoa! Snap! When you're driving like a gas car, it doesn't matter if it's tuned or anything like that. It takes time to do a pickup, regardless of how many seconds it takes. But with a Tesla, it's instant. As soon as you press the gas, especially on sport mode, you just go. And I like that. You know, I like the fact that you have that power instantly when you need it. Right here, if you look at the screen, it kind of shows you, you know, the car kind of has eyes. So because it has a radar, it kind of shows you what's around you, whether it's a car on either side, you know, the stoplights, you can have it chime if you want, you know what I mean? So things like that, you know, it's it basically kind of has its own mind, and having the software drive with you, and then of course the instant torque, how it feels, and that's the main impressions that I get from driving the Tesla. I wouldn't say that a Model 3 is luxurious. I would say that it's very comfortable, and for me, it's pretty high-end compared to the other cars I've had in the past. So, I mean, keep in mind this car was about 60 grand brand new, and now I'm getting it for half the price, right? Or less than half the price. You got the 20s on, right? So it's more wheel, less tire. So a little bit harsher ride, but that's for people who are comparing it with other luxury cars. But for myself, I like it, you know, because I come from cars which are very bouncy and lowered and not as comfortable. So for me, this is pretty comfortable. And like I said, there's a lot of quality in the Model 3 that you wouldn't get in a comparably priced used car, right? Period. And so I think that's the value of having a car like this, an EV, which is a very good, I think it's a very good daily driver commuter car. So that's what driving a Tesla Model 3 is all about. Model 3 performance, that is. For me, driving 60 to 120 miles per day, I definitely need something reliable, I need something efficient, and I need something that I don't have to worry about in terms of maintenance and breaking the bank and so on, right? And that's what this Tesla does. And of course, it adds that style because this is a performance. So it has the 20-inch wheels, it has the red brakes, it has obviously the power, the all-wheel drive. And another thing that I would like to say is that if you do purchase a used car, consider getting it from Tesla because you get that extra year warranty. If something does happen to your car, then they will cover it, even if it's just for a year, right? And for mine, it's because it's still less than 50,000 miles. I still have the basic warranty, the original one. When that one runs out, then my 1-year warranty from Tesla will kick in. So that's just a little peace of mind that you would get if you purchase a used car even from Tesla. This is a 2022, and you compare it even to a lot of new cars, it still has way more tech than the average vehicle. So that's something that I enjoy. That's something I'm still experiencing today and making the most of. But so far, so good. And hopefully you guys got something out of it. Till next time, drive safe and keep on rolling. Okay, so for the next episode of the Tesla transition, we're going to be talking about the costs of upgrading the panel and getting this Tesla EV charger connected. Right here, this wall charger. Boom. We're gonna talk about that next time.